Hello, I'm Kelly Proudfoot and I'm actually recording this video for both channels I have on YouTube, Portal Stormer, which is where I'm looking into mental health via storytelling and other things, and the other channel is Hedgewitch Herbarium, which I've kind of decided to start focusing more on, but then there's some content I'd like to share on both channels. But what I'm doing here today is Saturday the 12th of April, and it is the full moon in Libra, the pink moon, and it's supposed to be great energies, mirror energies, I think, not just looking into how you are in the world and how you treat others, but also how you treat yourself. And so what I thought I'd do, I've been promising to do some trance work, and I'm going to do it here. And this might be a bit unusual for some people because I'm performing it on myself, but while I do it I'm able to talk normally. This is something that I discovered in myself when I was about, I think, 17 or 18. I was with my boyfriend and we were sitting there at the kitchen table talking, and then I realized, because he was droning, and I went into a trance state because of his drone. He had a deep voice, but also he sort of had that tendency to be able to, when he talked, it wasn't that interesting what he was talking about either, so that didn't help. But I inadvertently dropped into a trance state, and I realized as I was looking at him, he was changing. His face was changing, and I actually verbalized it as it was happening and said, "You're not going to believe this, but as I'm looking at you, I can see your face changing. You've got a beard, and then the hairs were growing all over his face." Before I knew it, it happened really quickly. He was an ape. And the funny thing was, he still had his wristwatch on, but everything else was an ape body. His clothes had disappeared and it almost wasn't him, but his facial expressions, even though he was an ape, were still animated and looking at me, talking about the things, laughing. And every now and again I'd be thinking, hang on, am I looking at my boyfriend or him? And as I was telling him this, he didn't believe me. So after a while I just thought he was getting a little bit upset. I think he was thinking that I was trying to tell him that I thought he was an ape. But anyway, I tried to shake it off. I'd look away as we kept talking, look back at him, and he was still the ape. It took around 20 minutes for it to finally dissipate. Years later, I actually tried it with some people. I actually did it, I wouldn't say professionally, but I was earning money on the side as a single mum, doing these kinds of readings plus numerology and tarot. And the trance work was really interesting. People really resonated with it, but I think some people were a bit afraid of it. I wasn't 100%, and maybe now even still not 100% on what's happening, but I just translate what I see. One lady, we were sitting there face to face at a table talking about stuff, and then a pink mist came over us. Didn't smell, wasn't wet, we couldn't touch it, but she saw it too. I decided not to mention it. I just thought, why is there a rosy glow around us? And then she said, can you see a kind of, mist or something? And we thought that was incredible. So as I dropped into the trance and we kept talking, I focus on the third eye. I don't look directly in the eyes, first of all because it's distracting for both of us, and second of all, I think it stops us from getting real. If you can do it, it's great, but for me, focusing on the third eye helps. Like, okay, I've got that focal point, what is happening around that focal point? I saw her as a little girl in China, running down a street looking for her mum and dad. And when I told her that, she started crying, and she said, I've always felt an affinity with China, and I've always felt since I was a little girl that there was something that I'd lost. So that was an incredible session. I also did it just for fun with my son and with other people, and it was interesting what we saw, because you can actually see things changing. Now, as I say this, let me add that it could easily be matrixing. Our eyes play tricks on us. and God knows what's happening subconsciously. I'm still investigating it. There's been a long gap in my life where I haven't focused on this stuff because I became an atheist, leaning more towards agnosticism, but still, now that I've, since January, opened myself back up, it's interesting how all these skills are floating back to the top. And since Mercury went out of retrograde last week, I've really felt the power was building up. Also today I'm going to be doing, because it's the pink moon, I wanted to do readings with my new tarot decks, and I just get so excited, but I haven't got tarot decks for a long time, and I'm one of those people who doesn't think that people have to give them to you in order for them to be authentic or their power to be used. But these are the two decks I got, the Woodland Wardens and the Green Witch's Oracle deck. So I am going to be posting another video on those readings that I'll be doing today. But I wanted to do this trance session first before I do those readings, because I wanted to see what comes up, but also to illustrate how I do it and how it's really easy to do it for yourself too, especially if you're doing mirror work. I'll do this in a mirror, but I thought I would do it here because as I look at myself I can see my face and I'm able to do the trance work like this. So I will keep talking as I'm dropping into it. So what I'm going to do is just get myself into not so much a trance state, because the trance comes when it's ready, but and I'll take my glasses off too so that I don't, no actually I won't, because I want to see everything properly. Anything that comes through I'll feed back. So dropping into the trance, and if you're doing this with someone else sitting there in front of them, just get yourself comfortable and then just get quiet for a minute and just focus on their third eye and get them to do it too. You never know what you might see. And oftentimes as it starts happening, you sort of start darting your eyes around, looking at your face or even your body and saying, what is it what was that showed up on my face? So I'm just going to take a few seconds and just focus. And as it starts, you see the lines around your face sort of blurring, different images coming in. Some features on your face might enlarge, like even though I'm not looking at my eyes are becoming prominent. And while you're doing this trance work, you can be thinking to yourself or stating aloud what you want to see, because while it's good to just experiment and focus, it's also good to have an intention. For example, you might ask the question, who was I in my last life? What part of my nature do I need to work on? There's a gnat flying around, little bastard. Anyway, it's almost like my face is now hovering in front of my head, which is a strange thing because that's something that I wrote about in my fantasy series, The Storming Archives, about one of the aliens having his face before him, in front of his face. Thinking of the pink moon and compassion and leading with the heart. This is weird, I'm seeing myself as a younger person. Even with the glasses on, it's like the glasses don't matter, because I can see the eyes more than I can see the glasses. I see a waterfall between my eyebrows. It's like my eyebrows, that's the land, and the forest, the trees, maybe the hair's poking up, but it's like a waterfall coming down my nose, and I don't know if it's the lighting, but it's what's coming to my mind. It's like my face is sort of detaching from my head, still floating in front, like this is what I'm supposed to be focusing on. And that's interesting because lately I've been wondering, I've got to start doing something with my appearance. I've been in a really dark pit for a long time, and I'm sort of coming out of that pit and trying to take care. I wrote myself off a few years ago thinking, well, I'm in my 50s now, it's all downhill. I went into that energy for years. I'm just adjusting my glasses. And just in the last month or so, I've been thinking, I've got to do something with this hair. I've got thyroid issues, so the medication I take affects my hair. I'm not someone who is focused on my appearance in terms of how I hope people will love me or like me. So because that all melted away, or that ego, I went the opposite direction and stopped caring about myself, and that's how I got, hang on. Oh my God. I'm trying to focus. For a minute there I saw a bird draped over my head. Instead of my hair, the two eyes here and, oh, where am I? Here and here was sort of shining and blinking at me. That was weird. It's gone now. It's like the wings wrapped around my head, a black bird. Now I have been seeing, I saw bats a couple of weeks ago, and last week I saw a nice big healthy looking raven in the backyard. Okay. That was interesting. It was like it was maybe showing that's a side of me. I know I tend to be depressive, so I have been lifting that and being good for the last few months, keeping that raft floating. Thinking about the pink moon, looking at myself, what do I need to do? Why are the eyes, my eyes feel like they're getting bigger and bigger. When you see things moving, as it happens, you're wondering, like my mouth wasn't moving before, I wasn't talking, and I could see it moving like it was. That's interesting. And again, I'm not offering answers here. This is not a how-to. I'm just sharing how I do this and the interpretations of what I can see. Now I'm going to lower my eyes and look into my eyes now that I'm sort of at this level. This is weird. I can see myself as an older woman and as a young girl at the same time. I have to continue to remember to nurture the inner child. Self-care's been really high on my list lately, and I've been developing boundaries, dealing with the trauma from dealing with an alcoholic, narcissistic mother. I'm going down to just under my chin here and my neck. see a horse. Oh my god. In Chinese astrology, I'm a horse, element fire. And you can hear cats in the background. I'm so sorry, that's Harry, he's a nutball. God, now I see myself as an ogre. I see a beard forming. I can be an ogre. I don't want to be an ogre. When it's self-defense, even if it's mental, I can be brutal with my words. I wonder if that's what it's trying to show me. Now I can see my neck swelling. I do have thyroid issues. I wonder if that's trying to tell me I need to get that rechecked. It's been a while. I've got to get more blood work. Okay, that's weird. Alright. Now I'm going to look down, right down to the table. It's like my head's disappearing. Throat chakra, that just came to me. Words, yes, I've got to be careful with my words. I've got to write more. I know that. I feel like this is going to sound really odd, but I feel like there's a light flickering on and off right in here. Yes, I am an extremist because I'm highly sensitive, and I was when I was going through that crap with my mum and my childhood, but I can turn the compassion on and off like a flick of a switch, and I feel that's what it's trying to tell me. I've got to keep that open and only shut it off when I know I'm in danger or possibly in danger, but I feel like that's the message it's trying to tell me. Your compassion is on and off. Your heart is open and closed. I've got to, and I have been, this week I've been really good with maintaining that compassion and not being so reactionary, but I think this is a good reminder for me. I'm raising my eyes up slowly to the crown, and this is how I'm going to close it off. My mouth disappeared. Now I'm a cartoon. Now I'm a scientist. Now I'm a skeleton. I'm a skull. I feel like it's trying to tell me, get smarter. I don't know why that feels right. I do have to work smarter, not harder. All is well. Apart from the cats. Now this side of my face disappeared. Now I'm a man. Okay, that's getting freaky. I'm going to stop. not trying to be a drama queen here, but when you finish the trance, I mean, I don't have any uniform way of doing it. I'm not, as I said, I'm not doing this as a way to tell you this is how you do it. I'm showing how I do it, and I'm going to keep practicing it and doing it, and then again starting with other people and doing it and seeing. Sometimes it's that flow of energy between the two of you can help really amp it up. But that was interesting because a lot of those things are stuff I'm working on. And seeing the man, I know I don't want to talk about my other personal things in my life, but I know who it is, and that's sort of freaking me out a little bit because it's someone I'm trying to reach out to. So interesting. Now I will say this, for you or anybody who does this, of course it's going to depend on your experiences, how you interpret what you see. I like to just be as if I don't know anything and, oh, what's that, and then start thinking about it rather than projecting to start with. But anyway, this has given me food for thought, and I'm going to do the readings in a minute, and then I'll share that video as well. I don't feel like I should launch straight into the readings just yet because I'm still processing this information. The land with the waterfall coming down here, I was thinking about my emotions. I've been through a lot of tears, but it's interesting now how I'm less likely to snap into a crying spell if I'm frustrated. I've been noticing, especially this week, that I've really stepped into my power and I'm a lot more in control. Or the flow-on effect of getting my life in order is a work in progress, but it's been really interesting, those energies. But to see here, yes, I understand that. Yes, with the thyroid, I've got to get back to the doctor. The horse. I felt like when I saw the horse, and I've been talking about on my Portal Stormer channel a lot about the fire horse, as much as I know that the fire horse is there for me whenever I need that energy, because I reserve the right to keep the sting in my tail for those who deserve it. It was a lot more, almost like it was grey-haired or close to getting white rather than black with the flames coming out of it, and I feel like it was telling me that this work that I'm doing is helping the horse not have to be looking over my shoulder the whole time. That's how I think of it. Whenever I need attack, get ready, just in case. I haven't, the last couple of weeks it's been really good with how I've been able to just push that down, and it's interesting that I saw the horse like a happy old man but in horse form. That was interesting. But I do feel like those tempers, and I'm learning how to think first before I open my mouth and so on, and process stuff behind the scenes before I come out guns slinging or blazing, whatever. But yeah, and then seeing my face in front of my head, and that's sometimes just a part of how your eyes are adjusting. What's happening? Why are you just staring at one spot? But then seeing the bird, that was so interesting. Just for a minute I couldn't see the beak, but it was like the beak was under my forehead and the eyes were here, and its head was melding into my head, but my hair was the wings around my head. Maybe it was the raven telling me that some of the tarot readings I've seen online lately have saying that I have someone from the other side watching over me, and I wonder who it is. My mum was always big, even though she was the one who dealt a lot of the crap to me when I was growing up. She was very into ravens, so wow, that's something to process. It could also mean a version of her that's still with me, hence the reason it was wrapped around my head, like maybe just the thoughts. That's interesting. But yeah, seeing that male face at the end was kind of freaky. I know who it is, and that's something for the journal. But anyway, I will be back, and again I'm going to record the tarot readings with my new tarot cards for both channels. I just want to see which channel picks up. I've still yet to set intentions. All I know, this is a journey of self-discovery for me, and hopefully through what I share it might help others. So I'd be interested to know your thoughts if you have your own sort of trance work, or if you have some sort of a system that you've learned and use. But I will do more of these, and maybe some rituals, especially for the Hedge Witch Herbarium channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. I know it might have been boring for people who aren't interested, but if that was the case, you wouldn't have clicked. Anyway, take care, and if you are interested, please subscribe and like the video.